Hi, welcome to a new video of mine. Today is Sunday, November the 4th, and tomorrow is Monday again, and I'm supposed to have a new video up for my Patreons. And I wasn't able in the last few days to record because I was sick, and beginning of the week I was busy with other things. So now I was like, okay, let's go to the park and let's come up with something useful. And last night I watched a documentary, brand new documentary called Above Majestic. And it's very interesting. It's talking about what's going on in the world, how we are living in a certain matrix, how certain people and entities are ruling the world, and how we can keep our heads in the sand or actually take our heads out of the sand. And there are aspects that a lot of people may say, that's bullshit, that's fake. Okay, you don't need to believe everything. But there are some very interesting questions that are asked. And one of the most interesting ones is an ex-FBI agent who's saying, like, all the technologies that have been revolutionary that came up in the last 100 years, and still we are driving the same technology that was invented 100 years ago, cars using oil, petroleum, gasoline, or how a lot of people call them today, dinosaur juice. Very polluting, and it doesn't make any sense. And for me, that is one of the proofs that some people are manipulating the markets, are manipulating the world we live in, and it has been proven that the oil industry did destroy the electric car industry back in the 50s, 60s, or even earlier. I don't remember when they first started inventing electrical cars. So yeah, but we are also entering a period where lies cannot be kept hidden anymore. The truth is coming out. That's something I've been fighting for most of my life. So for me, this is a great period that has started already. That's not gonna start. That has started, and is only gonna grow exponentially with more truth coming out. Like the fact is that the U.S. government was involved in the assassination of John F. Kennedy, because more than 50 years after his death, part of the JFK files are still sealed because they feel for national security that's better not to reveal them, meaning the government is involved. Otherwise, there is no reason to keep hiding. And people who are still alive are involved. People that can still be blamed. People that don't want to get the blame. Another fact is that you have a Trump, for example, who's telling a lot of lies, and then in the same sentence he says, but it could be anybody, actually, I don't know. Basically saying, I'm just coming up with something saying Mr. X did something, but yeah, it could be Mr. Z, it could be Mr. A, Mr. B, I don't know, because he's just lying. Otherwise he would say, that person did that thing, or that country did that thing, and that's it. But he's always trying to get himself out of having accused somebody of doing something, knowing that he's wrong. And a lot of people hate him, but the funny part is that he is basically mixed up exactly in the middle of the two forces of dark and light. He got caught up in the darkness, he tries to move to the light, and he's in between. So on one side he's siding with the dark, and on the other side he's saying all the things that are showing that the dark is actually dark, it's not light. And if this doesn't make any sense to you, then either you're not following the news, or you're just swallowing everything without even having a critical look at it. And there are many documentaries, there are many YouTubers who are actually exposing all the lies and all the inconsistencies in what's going on in the world, what politicians are saying, and so on. So, and of course, since the 40s, 50s, or 50s, 60s, I don't remember, the CIA came up with the term conspiracy theory that they throw on everyone that is questioning what the government is saying or doing, to just discredit them and make them look stupid. And a lot of people are following this blindly, and as soon as they hear conspiracy theory, then yeah, it's conspiracy theory. Like some people are believing blindly the website Snoops, which has on many occasions wrongly accused things of being fake. So what can you trust? What can you believe? Well, I believe you need to use your own common sense. And common sense is not just looking at the fact and at the history and saying, it was like this, so this is proof, because history is written by those who won the war, and they decided on what is history. Like another beautiful example is that the Belgian population has been believing until very recently, and still a majority is believing it, that Belgium's wealth was thanks to whatever king, and that he's a great guy. But actually he was one of the biggest tyrants of the world. I believe he killed more people than Hitler, and he took the Congo as his personal backyard and enslaved everyone he could, mutilated whoever was not following his ruling, meaning cutting off their hands, and treating people really like shit. Slaves, but in a very shitty way, because some people treated their slaves more or less humanely, if you can call it humanely. But yeah, he just used it for his personal wealth. And education in Belgium was portraying him as the great guy who made Belgium a great country. But most of the Belgian wealth and all these golden statues of the guy are built by blood money. And this is the world we live in. Lies, 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 and more lies. The interesting thing is, if you follow your heart, if you follow your intuition, you follow what you feel and hear, then you know what's true. You interact with people who are truthful to you, and your world starts to change, at least around you. And you will very quickly start to feel who you don't want to interact with, and who are poisonous people, and you will move away from them. You will move away from a job where your boss is just being very poisonous because he's in that dark energy who just wants to manipulate and wants to treat you as a slave, but officially slavery has been banned, so he will do it in a different way. But you will make your own choices. You will make choices that are founded from here. What do you feel? What do you trust? And that's very important. So that's basically my message in this video. Trust what you feel. Don't believe everything you hear, everything you see. If you see a video about something happening, doesn't mean it's true. Video editing has been around for a very long time, and nowadays they can put a picture of somebody and his voice, use computer animation, and have that person say anything they want. And you can even start lip reading, and it's like the guy said it, but it's all a lie. They can put people in pictures, they can delete people from pictures or from videos, and you won't see it. And then they tell you like, yeah, but you see bad person or good person or whatever. Look at Lance Armstrong. He was the big hero of the Americas, winning the Tour de France 3 times. Came back from cancer and then became world champion. And then he admitted he had been using doping that was not detectable by the tests they had at that time. And then he became the big loser. Well, I think the guy was not just a bad guy. I believe the guy fought very hard, and he showed that the world is not a perfect place, and that sometimes it looks like it's worth to cheat to reach something. Competitions like the Tour de France, they're built on people not using any doping, or at least non-detectable doping, because that's what they care about, because it's about image. But they want the sensation, so people watch and people sponsor, because it's about money, the Tour de France. Like all big competitions, it's about money. That's why the World Cup will be played in Qatar, in a country where human slavery is very present, just as officially it's just paying people a minimum wage, but they have them work in temperatures above 50 degrees Celsius. Dictatorship is extreme. Human rights are broken every single day, at least 10 times. and it's not the right climate to hold a World Cup actually. But they're gonna do it because of money. So, wake up. Wake up and stop believing what people are giving you to believe. Stop believing the magazines, stop believing the news, stop believing whatever people are trying to sell to you. Feel yourself what is true to you. Feel it in here. Your life will start doing this. And the system is collapsing. I also saw a video today from a famous American writer who's talking about certain things and like, you should simply have a job and then do all the things on the side because you're supposed to pay the bills. And that's very normal, has been done like this for thousands of years, so you should do it. Well, for thousands of years we have been manipulated, so I believe if you want to do it, know why you're doing it. Don't do it because it has been done for thousands of years. Do it because maybe it's the only way for you now at this moment to survive. But that's a different reason. That's very different from doing it because it has been done all the time. Because this will end as well. Because needing to have a job in order to pay the bills is based on slavery. We could have had free energy for already over 50 years. Which would mean that all the invoices for energy would not be there. Which would mean that we would have less difficulty of paying the bills. Which would mean that many things would be cheaper. Everything you buy now is getting more expensive when the oil price goes up because transportation is more expensive. So basically, we're being screwed. We're being lied to. So make your own choices because of what you feel and what you believe in here. Not because of what people tell you and that it has been done like this for decades, centuries, millennia. Because for millennia people thought and believed the earth was flat and the sun was rotating it. And hey, we know now it's different. And like this, there are so many more things. E equals mc squared? Yes. It's true, but not completely. It's not the entire truth. That's why it doesn't apply for everything, because they haven't found yet a formula that applies to everything. Relativity doesn't fully match with quantum. So, we haven't found the formula that covers everything because we're not getting all the knowledge. Because some people are hiding it, because that's how you keep people suppressed. That's how you keep control over people, by not giving the power to the people. The French Revolution was a scary moment for the elite. They got literally decapitated in France. And that's why the French Revolution was not allowed to spread. That's why the Arab Spring Revolution was not allowed to spread. Because the elite don't want it, and the elite are still ruling. But you can ignore the elite. And by starting to ignore the elite, by starting to ignore the mass media, by starting ignoring the trends and the fashion and all these things, the economy will simply collapse. The system will collapse because there's nothing to feed on. I heard recently that less and less people are taking loans, which is very bad for the financial industry, because you not having a loan means you are not slave to your job, you're not slave to the bank, you're not slave to the system. Look at America. People are so deeply indebted there that they have to keep working. They have to basically be slaves to pay the bills. Because that's what they want. Because that's how they can manipulate people and keep doing what they want them to do. Because people don't have much of a choice. Is that or losing their house? Is that or losing their scholarship? Why do you think that in so many countries now going to school and to university is becoming paid? It's not free anymore. Because that's how people start with debts from young age. Wake up. I know this is not a video like my usual videos, but this is a wake-up call. Feel in here and choose from here what you want to do and what you believe in. And you will see that until 2027, the world as we know it will have changed. And not like it changed in the last 10 years, but exponentially. See you in the next video, which will most probably be a very different one. Don't worry if this scared you off.